Hello everyone, my name is Gerald Anyasco from Group 4, and today we're going to discuss our topic entitled Guide Signs or Information Signs and Signs on Expressway. So without further ado, let's get started. So for 4.1, we have here the design classification of guide signs. So we have a total of 9 sections that we're going to tackle and discuss to you guys. So for our first section, we have 4.5, the advanced direction signs. Next would be the intersection direction signs. Third one will be the reassurance direction signs. The fourth one is fingerboard direction signs. We have we also have street name signages. For the sixth one, we have town name and geographical feature signs. For the seventh one, we have service signs. And for our second to the last topic or section would be the tourist information and tourist destination signs. And lastly, we have route markers. So before we tackle all of this section, let us proceed to the design. So the design of the road signages serves a several critical purposes, all aimed at ensuring the safe, efficient, and orderly movement of people and goods on the roadways. So these purposes are rooted in human factors and traffic flows principle, and lastly, legal requirements. So these are the things that we need to consider in designing a road signages. So, first, we have instant recognition. So, drivers learn to associate shapes and colors with types of information, allowing for quicker comprehension even before reading the legends. So, this is vital in split second decision making. Next would be uniformity. So, this ensures consistency across the entire road network and regardless of the specific location, reducing confusion and building drivers' expectation. And lastly, legal enforceability. Standardized signs are legally recognized and reinforced not just here in the Philippines but all throughout the globe. And now let us move forward and discuss the specific consideration that we need to consider on designing the road signages. So we have here the shape. So standardized shape convey immediate meaning without requiring reading. So guide signs are generally rectangular in shape, practicable, and they should be designed with long axis horizontal. Expectation to this rule are route markers which are normally on the shield of distinctive shape and kilometer post. So we also have here a sample picture that will help us to recognize what are the different shapes available on the roadsides. So first we have here the octagon. So for octagon, it states that it's exclusive for stop signages. We also have horizontal rectangle. So this means that this is generally for guide signs. We also have equilateral triangle, which means exclusive for yield signs. We also have here pennant, the advanced warning for no pass zone. And also we have diamond, exclusive to warn of existing or possible hazard on roads or adjacent areas. We also have vertical rectangle for general or regulatory sign. And second to the last, we have pentagon. This is used in school advance and school crossing signs. And lastly, we have round shapes for railroad advance and warning signs. So moving on, let us now proceed to the next consideration, and that would be the colors. So background colors should be easily recognizable by motorists as being applicable to the particular categories, build signs for which it is used. So we have here some examples in our picture. So we have red, which means to stop or yield prohibition. An example for stop or do not enter or parking. Next one, we also have yellow, which means the general warning for advisory of potential hazard. For example, we have curve ahead, pedestrian crossing, and school zone. Next, we have color green, the directional guidance, permissive movements. And for example, we have exit and destination. Next color we have here color blue for the motorist services, evacuation routes. So we have examples of such signs. We can see that it is available or can be seen on the hospitals, gas stations, and rest area or the restrooms. Next, we also have the brown one. So this is used in public recreation and cultural interest. For example, we have at the parks or historical sites. We also have here the white colors, which means the regulatory or speed limits and lane use for certain guide signs in or in the street names. We also have color orange for temporary traffic control, construction, or maintenance warning. So these are the following examples of recognizable colors and its purpose. So it is important to really know what's the meaning of the traffic sign colors for us to be able to understand what is being said. Next consideration would be the size. So standardization of guide signs is always practicable due to the variety of legal use. So the size adopted would depend on the required letter size. So the number of words in the legend symbols used in the general arrangement. So the likely visual impact of the sign must be considered in relation to its location. So background and surroundings. For example, in an urban streets and advertising signs, guide signs are need to be increased in size to compete effective with adjacent signs. So as you can see in the picture, we have to determined by the design speed, legibility, and distance. So different areas requires different size. As you can see, we have different roads such as private and public roads. We also have a high speed roads. So in that case, we have to use different sizes of our signs and also the speed limits. Next would be the next thing that we should consider is the type of lettering. So standard alphabet shall be used on guide signs. Whether the legend of a guide sign should have capital letters only. Lower letters or combinations of the two is either described or illustrated for each type of signs. In general, the destination on advanced direction signs, intersection direction signs, reassurance direction signs, and express signs should have initial capital letter followed by the lowercase letters. So appropriately sized and spaced letters are readability at distance. So often all uppercase letter requires larger size for equivalent legibility to mixed cases. So we have here an example types of road signages on the picture. As you can see, we have uh, signage that it's all on uppercase letter, and one example also for the first letter is the only thing that is capital, and the following letters would be on its lowercase. So it depends on the location and it depends on the sign. The next one would be the size of the lettering. So, standard alphabet shall be used on guide signs. Whether the legend of the guide sign should have capital letters only, lowercase, or combination of the two is considered described, illustrated on each type of the sign. So, in size of the lettering, so these are the following examples of letter visibility chart. For viewing distance of 100 feet, the minimum required letter height in inches is 4 inches. On the other hand, if we have 200 feet distance, we need to have a 10 inches letter height. So this is the example of letter visibility chart that we need to consider in the size of the lettering for our signages. Next one we have letter spacing. So the legibility of the legend on a sign depends, among other things, on the spacing between individual letters. Legibility distance is greater for widely spaced letter than for closely spaced letter. There is, however, an optimum spacing which, if exceeds, increases the difficulty in reading the legend. So it is important to determine the suitable spacing for each letter depending on the type of the signages. Next one would be the amount of legend. It is important that a guide sign should carry not more than 3 lines of legends or 3 destination names. However, up of 5 lines and names may be used in special cases. So the principal legend on the guide sign should be limited to the number of words a driver can read, and in time he can turn his attention from the road to the sign. So we have here example picture or example for our traffic signs that we should follow. Next would be the distance indication. So distances are shown on guide signs to the following rules. So this help to inform drivers of the distance to a specific hazard or condition ahead. So we need to place at a distance that allows the drivers enough time to safely react to the upcoming hazard. So considering the prevailing speed limit and road conditions. So this is vital to provide continuous reference point for drivers, indicating their current location along a route. Useful for emergency services, reporting breakdowns, and general navigation when other signs aren't available. Next would be the designs, reflectorization, and illumination. So all guide signs, including expressway guide signs, which need to be read at night, should be reflectorized. So the method of reflectorization should be the use of retroreflective materials for the background, letters, borders, and legend of the sign. So, retroreflection is a passive optical property where a surface reflects indent light predominantly back towards its source. So, rather than scattering it in a various directions, this characteristic is crucial for making object visible at night when it's illuminated by the vehicle's headlight. On the other hand, illumination refers to the active provision of light to a road environment using artificial light sources. It aims to brighten an area to improve overall visibility for all road users. So these is the example or sample picture that reflects the reflectorization and illumination signages. So this ensures that every traffic sign, regardless of the time of the day, weather condition, effectively communicates its intended meaning to the drivers. So minimizing confusion and mixing safety on the road. So these are the following things that we need to consider for us to have a safety movement. So for the 4.3, we have here the location. So the primarily goal or of proper sign placement is to prevent accident by providing timely warning about hazard, example sharp curves, steep grades, intersection and pedestrian crossing, and regulatory information. So well-placed signs guides drivers smoothly, reducing erratic maneuvers like sudden lane changes or braking that can lead to rear end collision for side swipes. So, signs indicating pedestrian crossing or school zones need to be placed prominently and well in advance to alert drivers to the presence of vulnerable road user, especially crucial in busy areas. So in this picture, we can see the proper location or of the traffic signs. So in summary, the road signages are far more than just decorations on the road. They are fundamental component of a functional and safe transportation system. This careful design, strategic placement, consistent maintenance, and clear understanding by road users are all indispensable for preventing accidents, facilitating smooth travel, and supporting the country's overall development. So that would be all for my part. Thank you.
So, good day everyone. Today I'll be discussing sections 4.4 and 4.5 from our manual, which talks about the supports for guide signs and advanced direction signs, respectively. So, let's begin with section 4.4, which is the supports for guide signs. So, we have We have two main types of guide signs, the road signs and overhead signs. So this section talks about how guide signs are physically supported, especially those installed over roadways. So first is the roadside signs. It is also known as traffic signs or highway signs. These are a guide signs installed on the side of the road, and it also installed to provide information and instruction to drivers and road users. Excuse me. So we have four types of roadside signs. First is the regulatory signs. These are signs indicating legal requirements such as speed limits, stop signs, and no entry zones. They are typically rectangular with a white background and black symbols or text, or octagonal for stop signs. Next is the warning signs. So these are signs to alert drivers to potential hazards such as curves, intersections, or construction zones. They are usually diamond shapes with yellow background and black symbols or text. Next is the guide signs. So these signs provides directions, distances, and information about routes, destinations, and services. They can be rectangular and often have a green background on highways or brown for recreational areas. So lastly, we have the information signs. So these signs offer general informations such as the location of rest areas, hospital, and tourist attractions. So all of these signs must follow proper height and lateral clearance so they remain visible and safe for all vehicles. So next we have the overhead signs. These are mounted above roadways to provide information to drivers and pedestrians. They provide information about lane assignments, upcoming exits, and speed limits. They are usually placed on overhead gantries, which are structures spanning across multiple lanes of traffic. So we have three typical methods of supporting overhead signs. First is the cantilever support. It is placed where the sign does not overhang the running lanes. The minimum clearance may be reduced to 5 meters. Then next is the gantry support. The minimum clearance applies to catwalks, lighting brackets, or other fixtures where these project below the sign. These structures, sometimes called sign bridges or sign supports, they can vary in designs and complexity from simple cantilevered beams to more elaboration bridge-like structures. So next is the butterfly support. So butterfly support is designed this design allows for the placement of signs over multiple lanes of traffic. They consist a single vertical support, usually a steel pipe or concrete column with horizontal members extending on both sides to support the sign panels. Now moving on to section 4.5, which is the advanced direction signs. It also entails the application, shape, color, and reflectivity, the format and use, the legend, the lettering, and its location or its placement. So now about advanced direction signs. These signs provide drivers with information about upcoming junctions, intersections, and interchanges, indicating the direction of routes and destinations beyond that point. So, for application, these signs are used before intersection to inform drivers of upcoming routes or destinations, where major roads meet or where road layout might cause confusions. So for the shape, color, and reflectivity, these signs are often rectangular, usually with a horizontal orientation. The background is reflectorized green like the example below, and the text and symbols are white and are also reflectorized for visibility at night so that the motorist can easily notice it. So for the format and use, there are two types of advanced direction signs. First is the stock signs. So this is the most common type. The destinations are listed with arrows pointing the direction, and arrows must accurately represent movement and not just the road's shape. Upward arrows mean go straight, and angled arrows indicate turns. And arrows must be placed on the side of the panel that matches the direction, and there is no downward arrows that are allowed. So for the panels, it is ordered like this. So straight ahead arrows goes on top, and then angled arrows comes next, and then lastly the horizontal arrow. So next is the diagrammatic direction sign. So it is used for a complex intersection or rotundas. These signs show a simplified diagram of the road layout. They are larger than stock signs because they need larger text for clarity. Next is the legend. So stock signs should have no more than 5 lines of text with 2 lines max per panel. So diagrammatic signs are also limited to 5 items. So for any one direction, only 1 or 2 route names should be shown, preferably names that are familiar to drivers. And distances are not usually shown unless the next intersection is unexpectedly far, then a supplementary distance plate can be added. So next is the lettering. All destination names must be in lower letters with modified series E for capital letters. And road names are written in series D or E capitals, same height as the lowercase letters. So minimum letter sizes may vary. So 160 modified series E and 120 lowercase for two-lane roads, and 240 modified series E and 180 lowercase for multi-lane roads or overhead signs. So the other things that may affect letter size are the visual distraction nearby, the short legends can be made bigger to attract attention, and larger names may be used to emphasize an important direction. So, also, to save space, so standard abbreviations should be used like HWY for highway, RD for road, ST for street, AVE for avenue, and EXPRWAY for expressway. Then, lastly, is the location. So, the distance at which an advanced direction sign should be located in advance of an intersection varies according to the expected speed of approaching vehicle. In rural areas, advanced direction signs should be located at a minimum distance from the intersection as indicated in the following table. So that's all. Thank you.
So let's continue the discussion. 4.6 Intersection Direction Signs or GITO. Intersection direction signs are installed at major intersection or key decision points. Their primary function is to supplement advanced direction signs by indicating where intersecting roads lead. If the principal destination has already been mentioned in the advanced direction sign, it must be repeated on the intersection direction sign. However, distance should not be included on this sign because this information is typically shown on the reassurance direction sign placed just behind the intersection. Direction signs serve two more key functions. First, they help alert drivers that they are approaching an intersection where a directional decision needs to be made. Second, in cases of complex or channelized intersections, this sign can help pinpoint the exact direction to follow, minimizing confusion and improving traffic flow. In terms of design, intersection direction signs are rectangular in shape with a horizontal orientation. In some cases, the ends of the sign may be shaped into a point, and a white chevron inside the point is used to indicate the direction to be followed. These signs have a white reflectorized legend and border set against a standard green reflectorized background. However, the road name panel is different. It has a black legend on a white reflectorized background and must be square-ended for consistency and clarity. For lettering, the standard is to use lowercase letters with only the initial letters in capitals for destination names. The principal legend on the sign should not be smaller than 140 mod E over 105 LC in size. To ensure readability, each sign can contain a maximum of two destination lines and, if needed, one road name line. Intersection direction signs should be installed within or very near the intersection itself. The location must ensure that the sign is easily visible to motorists approaching the junction, giving them enough time to react and make a decision. So, sa layo pa lang or sa layo pa lang dapat dito na nakabutang ang mga intersection direction sign. Dito lang ginabutang para dali ra makita sa mga driver o sa mga motorista para di sila mapiki. So now let's move on the 4.7 to 4.7 Reassurance direction signs known as G321 and G322. Reassurance direction signs are placed after intersection to confirm to drivers that they are on the correct route. They also indicate the distance to major destinations, which is especially useful after navigating complex or unfamiliar roads. These signs are typically rectangular with a horizontal layout. However, when more than three destinations are listed, the sign can be designed vertically to accommodate the additional information. The lettering for this sign must be white with the minimum size of 160 mod E over 120 LC. This text is placed on a green reflectorized background. The distance numerals must be in modified series E and should be the same height as the capital letter of the destination name, ensuring visual consistency. If a route or street name is included, it must appear in black using either Series D or Series E, capital letters only. This name should be approximately the same height as the lowercase letters used for destination names. The route name itself should be placed on a white panel for contrast. If a route number is also included, it must appear to the left of the route name. Only major only major town names are allowed on this sign, and they must be listed in order of distance from the intersection just passed. The nearest town appears at the top, followed by others in ascending or order of distance. So there's the example of restaurant direction signs. Makita nyo dere. Now, now let's talk about 4.8 fingerboards and direction signs for less important roads, also referred to as G4. Fingerboards are used at minor intersections, typically on local roads that are not part of the national highway network. These signs guide drivers to nearby towns, scenic spots, places of historical or geographical interest, and facilities such as post offices, railway stations, or airports. Importantly, these signs are only meant for local roads and are not to be used on national roads. So makita niyo diri ang ano, yang example sa fingerboard and direction signs for less important roads. Fingerboards are rectangular with the long axis horizontal like G2 signs. They may also be shaped to a point at one or both ends to show direction. All fingerboards should be reflectorized for nighttime visibility. In terms of appearance, the standard color same is a black legend on a white reflectorized background. However, if the fingerboard is guiding a motorist to a tourist site officially recognized by a local authority, it can use white legend on a brown background instead. For lettering, Series D or Series E fonts are typically used. If the destination name is particularly long, Series C may be used instead. The minimum letter size is 100 dm, while the maximum is 140 dm. Numerals should match the height of the capital letters and must use Series E. To maintain clarity and avoid clutter, the number of fingerboards on a single post at an intersectional should be kept to a minimum no more than two signs per direction of travel. The names used on these fingerboards should if possible match those on any advanced direction signs in the area. The legend may include either road names on destination names, and distance can be included optionally. When distance is shown, it must be expressed in kilometers. However, the abbreviation km should not appear on the sign. So that's all for my topic. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. To proceed with the discussion, we are going to talk about street name signs which fall under the G5 classification. So these signs are essential part of both urban and rural road system, helping guide us through our daily commutes and travels. Street name signs are designed to tell road users the names of the street or roads they are on or about to enter. They are usually mounted on posts near the intersections, the place where streets meet and where people need to identify roads quickly. So they must be positioned where they won't be blocked by trees or buildings or other signs so both the drivers and the pedestrian can easily see them. As for the height, on footways or sidewalks, the bottom edge of the sign should be between 2.2 or 3 meters from the ground. This ensures pedestrians can pass under them comfortably and that the signs stay visible above everyday obstructions. In verges or clear zones, areas alongside roads without foot traffic, lower heights are allowed since there is less chance of someone walking underneath. For intersections with multiple street names, dual signs may be angled on one post to improve visibility from more than one direction. And in places where space is limited or where traffic is heavy, signs can also be mounted on overhead masts or overpasses. This setup ensures driver can still see them clearly above the road. And they are rectangular and have a horizontal orientation, which makes it easier to read the names that are typically longer in length than in height. Their length can range from half a meter to 1.2 meters, depending on how long the street name is. And in terms of height, if the sign includes a house numbers, it should be at least 200 millimeters tall to provide enough space without cramping the text. And if it only shows the street name, the minimum height is 150 millimeters, which is enough for the name to be seen clearly on its own. Now let's talk about the visual features of street name signs, which are key to making them effective and easy to read. The standard and the most visible color combination is white text on a blue or green background. This isn't just for looks, it provides a strong contrast which helps with the readability both day and night. Blue is often used for general guidance and green for directional signs. Red backgrounds are not allowed since red is reserved for warning or stop signs. All street name signs must be reflectorized so they stay visible at night when headlights hit them, and the text should be in all capital letters with a minimum height of 100 mm for visibility. The preferred font is Series D, which is designed for clear legibility from a distance. House numbers, if included, should be at least 60 mm tall. If the municipality name is shown, it should be no taller than 40 mm so it doesn't overshadow the street name. And the permitted abbreviations to save space and ensure consistency, standard abbreviations are used. AVE for Avenue, BLVD Boulevard, BL for Place, CRES Crescent, RD for Road, DR for Drive, and so on. So this keep the sign short and easy to understand at a glance. On this slide, you'll see examples that apply these rules. So G51 shows white text on a blue with abbreviations like Bonifacio DR. Again, DR is Drive. And G52A and 2B shows signs placed on one post like Taft AVE and Cousin AVE with directional arrows. G53 shows a street like Palayaan AVE with directional arrows again, following all the standards in color, lettering, and layout. So these examples highlight how clear design leads to be a better navigation and safer roads. Now let's talk about town names and geographical feature signs. So these signs are essential for helping drivers identify towns, provinces, and natural landmarks. Their main function is to inform drivers when they are entering a new town, province, or a specific geographical feature like a river or a boundary line. So these signs improve situational awareness and make regional navigation clear. G6 signs are always installed on the right side of the road, right where the transition occurs, such as the entrance to a town or boundary between two cities. They are rectangular and horizontally oriented, which helps accommodate longer place names and ensures quick readability. The standard color scheme is black text on a white background, chosen for high contrast and visibility under various lighting conditions. The fonts used are Series D or E in capital letters, both known for being easy to read at a distance. For longer names like Laguna de Bay, a Series C font may be used as a more compact option. The main text should be at least 140 tall, but smaller features can use smaller sizes if appropriate. And then you'll see examples on the slide like G61 for town names, G62 for province names, G63 for geographical features, and G64 for LGU boundaries like the boundary between Makati City and Pasig City. And these signs serve as a simple yet powerful markers helping drivers know exactly where they are and where they are going. Next up, we have service signs categorized as G7. So these are incredibly useful for drivers, especially when they are on long journeys or in unfamiliar areas. So G7 signs are designed to guide drivers to nearby public services such as fuel stations, rest stops, parking areas, dining options, or shopping centers. So they make travel more convenient by pointing out essential stops along the way. Now let's break down their design and features. For design and color, like many other informational signs, they are rectangular in shape with the long axis horizontal. This standard shape is consistent and easy to recognize. They use white text and symbols on a blue background, which is the international standard for service-related signs. Crucially, these signs must be fully reflectorized if visible or useful at night. This ensures that even after dark, drivers can clearly see and understand the services being advertised. And the minimum text height is 120 making it readable from a distance. Fonts used are Series T or E, both chosen for legibility at driving speeds. Now for examples, from G7 to 1 to G7 to 5. On the right side, you'll see several examples for service centers with fuel and food icons. G7 2, a sign for Weybridge Station. 7 3 and 3A indicate parking and gas station with combinations of symbols. G7 4, a directional sign guiding drivers left toward a parking and a restaurant. G75 points to a Green Hills shopping centers. So these signs use clear visuals and consistent formatting to guide road users to key services they may need during travel. To conclude our section on service signs or G7 signs, this symbol shown in figure 4.2 plays an important role because they communicate information quickly, often without the need for the text, especially useful for drivers on the move. As shown, all these symbols use white icons on a blue background, keeping a consistent and recognizable color scheme. Each icon clearly represents a specific service, like for example, the H with a cross indicates a hospital or medical facility. The white cross alone represents first aid, ambulance, or hospital services. A telephone handset signals the availability of telephone service. A gasoline pump icon stands for a gas station. The P icon designates a parking area. A coffee cup indicates refreshments. The fork and the spoon refer to restaurants and cafes. A picnic table and tree represents a rest area or picnic ground. The wheelchair symbol denotes disabled service accessibility. A person dropping litter into a bin means there's a litter bin available. The bed icon indicates accommodation hotels or motels. A caravan or trailer symbol refers to a caravanserai. A tent represents a camping area. The I stands for an information center, and so on. So that's all for my part. Thank you for listening.
Good day to each and everyone. And now, at this juncture, we will now proceed to this section 4.12, Tourist Information and Tourist Destination Signs, under the G8 classification. Tourist information signs having white legend on brown background may be erected on an arterial road to denote places of public, scenic, historic, or cultural interests that are recognized by the appropriate authority and through which the road passes. They may be erected also as fingerboards at the last junction with an access road leading directly to the place of tourist interest. Tourist information signs are not intended to replace normal direction signs to establish tourist areas. However, they may be incorporated into normal direction sign panel, but with a brown background to distinguish its tourist interest. Tourist destination signs are designed similar to other directional signing with legends in capital lettering with minimum size of 140 dm or design millimeters. So, tourist information and destination signs under G8 classifications are road signs with white capital letters on a brown background used to guide travelers to public, scenic, historic, or cultural sites. These signs are typically placed along arterial roads or near junctions leading to tourist areas. While they do not replace standard direction signs, they may be integrated with them to highlight tourist interest through their distinct brown color. The signs must use capital letters with a minimum height of 140 mm to ensure visibility. Examples include signs pointing to destinations like Fort Santiago, Taal Lake, and the National Museum, often indicating direction and distance. The next one is section 4.13, route markers, under the G8 classification. Route markers are road signs used to identify and guide travelers along specific roads, highways, or expressways. They display the official number or name of a route such as N1, AH26, or E1 in the Philippines, and help drivers know where they are and which direction to follow. These markers are especially important for navigation, route planning, and ensuring consistency in the national and international highway systems. So basically, route markers under the G8 classification are road signs that help guide travelers along specific roads, highways, or expressways by displaying the official route name or number, such as N1, AH26, or E1 in the Philippines. These signs help drivers identify their location and the direction they should follow, aiding in navigation and route planning. So kaning makita ninyo sa right side is an example of a photo that including directional arrows and one-way signs, which helps or makatabang para ma-assist ang mga drivers in following the correct path and maintaining traffic order. Moving on to the section 4.13, the purpose. The identification and general direction of arterial roads and national highways that have significance as through routes can be achieved by the display of route markers showing the number and direction of route. The route numbers can also be displayed on directional signs indicating the appropriate national highway the motorist is on. A route numbering system can only be successful when the route number is shown on the road maps that are freely available to the motorists. This chapter provides some basic design and application information for the future implementation of a route marking system. So ang purpose daw kini sa route markers kay aron matabangan ang mga motorista nga may balo kung asa sila o asa paingon sa mga nagunang mga dalan or highway. So for example, kaning N1 or AH26 aron sa yun masabtan ang direksyon sa ilang biyahe, and also Isa po kay these markers display route numbers and can also appear on direction signs to guide drivers. So for this system to work well, route numbers should also be shown on road maps that motorists can easily access. This section gives basic guidelines for designing and using these signs in the future. And now, let's proceed to section 4.13.2, the design. The national highways could be identified by the shield under the classification of G9-1 that has black numerals and border on reflectorized white background. So when erected and as an individual sign, the size of the shield should be 310mm by 360mm on national roads and 410mm by 480mm on expressways. With Series C numerals, but for route markers with one numeral only, Series E is used. The size to be used at a particular location will depend on local conditions. When route markers are incorporated in advanced direction or direction signs, their size will vary to suit the letter size used. The direction of the route shall be indicated by arrow boards, such as G9-2 to G9-6 inclusive, located at top of the route marker at this figure G9-8. The direction of the arrows on the arrow board will depend on the road or intersection geometry. At the end of the route, the sign end under the G9-7 shall be displayed. Arrow boards and end signs shall have black arrows or legend and black border and reflectorized white background. So, in national highways, they use shield signs under the G9-1 with black numbers on a white reflectorized background for visibility. Sizes may vary, such as 310 by 360mm for national roads and 410 by 480mm for expressways. Series C font is standard, but Series E is used for single-digit routes. Arrow boards under the G9-2 to G9-6 on top of the marker show direction, depending on road layout. So at the end of the route, an end sign G9-7 is displayed. Arrow and end signs also have black symbols on a white background. And now, let's proceed to section 4.13.2, location of markers. The route markers should be incorporated in the sign where advanced direction signs are erected at an intersection or junction. Other route markers are located as follows. So, at all intersections and junctions where motorists need to be assured of the route. Beyond all intersections and junctions with important roads to indicate the correct route number of the highway. So the next is just outside the built-up area, leaving a city or town. So in rural areas, at intervals not less than 8 kilometers, except where reassurance signs have been erected beyond junctions located within these limits. And now in urban areas at intervals of not more than 2 kilometers, except where reassurance signs have been erected beyond junctions which are spaced less than 2 kilometers apart. And lastly, at other locations where reassurance is considered to be desirable. So basically, route markers are placed at intersections after major junctions, outside towns and along roads to guide drivers. In rural areas, they appear every 8 kilometers and in urban areas every 2 kilometers, unless reassurance signs are already there which they help confirm the correct route. So as you can see, these images show examples of route markers signs used to guide drivers along highways. G9-1 shows the route number inside a shield used to identify national highways, and G9-2 to G9-6 are arrow boards that indicate the direction of the route, left, straight, diagonal, or multiple directions based on the intersection. G9-7 shows the word end, which means the route has reached its final point. And lastly, G9-8 combines a route number with arrows to show that the route continues in both directions. These signs help drivers to stay on the correct path and make travel easier and safer. And now, moving on to the section 4.14, Asian Highway Route Markers under the classification of G10. Asian Highway Route Markers are road signs used to identify routes that are part of the Asian Highway Network, a cooperative project among Asian countries to improve regional connectivity. Regional connectivity. These markers usually show the letters AH followed by a route number. For example, AH26 on a shield-shaped sign. Now let's proceed to section 4.14.1. The purpose. The Philippines is one of the 32 member countries of UN ESCAP. As part of our commitment, route markers and directional signs shall be put up along the Asian Highway. Our country has been assigned the Asian Highway route number AH26. The route links major seaports and cities in the country, comprising mostly of the Daang Maharlika, which commences from Lawag to Manila to Legazpi to Matnog and through ferry, then to Allen to Tacloban, then to Ormoc, then through ferry to Cebu, Liloan, to Surigao, to Davao, and Cagayan de Oro, General Santos, and Zamboanga. The total length of AH26 is about 3,517 kilometers. The main purpose is to identify general direction of arterial roads of the Asian highways that have a significance as through routes. The route shield can also be displayed on directional signs to easily identify the route. To make the Asian highway route identification more successful, this shield G10-1 should be shown on the road maps that are freely available to the motorists. This chapter provides some basic design and application information for the implementation of Asian Highway Route Marking System. And so the Philippines, as a member of UN ESCAP, which stands for United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, is part of the Asian Highway Network and has been assigned route number AH26. So this route spans around 3,517 kilometers, connecting major cities and seaports across the country, mainly following the Daang Maharlika from Lawag to Zamboanga, including ferry connections to islands like Cebu. Route markers and directional signs with the AH26 shield G10-1 must be installed to guide motorists and identify this major international route. For better recognition, the AH26 shield should also appear on freely available road maps. This section outlines the basic design and application guidelines for implementing the Asian Highway route signage in the country. And now, let's proceed to the section 4.14.2, Design. The Asian Highway could be identified by the shield G10-1 that has a white retroreflective letters, numerals, and border on retroreflective blue background. When erected as an individual sign, the size of the shield should be 600 by 750 mm on national roads and 720 mm by 900 mm on expressways. Kilometer number W8-4 can also be supplemented under the shield to aid the motorist on which point of the route he is into. The kilometer number shall have black legends and border on retroreflective yellow background. Supplemental arrow board signs can also be installed and shall have black arrows or legend and black border on reflectorized white background. The direction of the arrows on the arrow board will depend on the road or intersection geometry. In rural areas, at intervals of not exceeding 10 km and not less than 5 km, except where reassurance signs have been erected beyond junctions located within these limits. And now on the other hand, in urban areas at intervals of not more than 5 km except where reassurance signs have been erected beyond junctions which are spaced less than 2 km apart. So basically, The Asian highway route can be identified by G10-1 shield, which has white letters and numbers on a blue retroreflective background for visibility. This sign should be 600 by 750 mm on national roads and 720 by 900 mm on expressways. To help motorists know their location along the route, a kilometer marker W8-4 with black text on a yellow background can be placed below the shield. Arrow boards may also be added to show direction with their position depending on the road layout. In rural areas, these signs should be placed every 5 to 10 km and in urban areas every 5 km or less, unless other signs are already in place. This help guide travelers and keep them informed along the route. Moving on to the section 4.14.3, Advanced Directional Signs with Route Marker Shield. The AH26 shield should be incorporated in the sign where advanced directional signs are erected at an intersection or junction. When route marker AH26 is incorporated in advanced directional signs, the height of the numeral AH26 is equal to 1.0, which is the desirable, or 0.75, which is the minimum, times capital letter height of the main sign legend. Locations for the advanced directional signs with route marker shield at all intersections and junctions where motorists need to be assured of the route. Beyond intersections and junctions before which markers have been incorporated in the directional signs. Beyond all intersections and junctions with important roads just outside the built-up area leaving a city or town. At other locations where reassurance is considered to be desirable. So, basically, advanced directional signs with the AH26 route marker shield are used at intersections or junctions to guide motorists and confirm the route. The AH26 shield must be included in these signs with its numeral height matching 1.0 or at least 0.75 times the height of the main sign letters. These signs are placed at key points such as major junctions, before intersections, outside towns, and where route reassurance is needed. So the image shows examples of how the AH26 shield is properly added to directional signs. And now, lastly, section 4.14.4, the Asian Highway leg marker sign under the classification of G1 to G1-4. So at the start of each segment or leg of the Asian highway, a gantry type marker shall be put up comprising of 3 types of overhead signage. So basically, the image outlines the standard design for Asian highway leg marker signs from G1-1 to G1-4, which are overhead gantry signs placed at the start of each segment of the Asian highway. These signs include a list of Asian highway sections, a directional sign showing the route, for example, Manila to Legazpi City, a regional identifier like the National Capital Region, and a road name or landmark for like EDSA. So these 3 types of signs are used together to guide and inform drivers along the designated Asian highway routes. And that would be all for my part. And for now, let's proceed on the next part of our discussion, which is the signs on expressways.
So, good day everyone. I'm Kevin Carl G. Matilos, and I'll be discussing the signs on Expressway Type G. So, let's start. So, the directional signs described in the previous sections are also applicable to expressways. However, because expressways are designed to carry traffic at high speed, it is essential that drivers must be given adequate advance information to ensure that they can position their vehicles in the correct lanes, to undertake the correct maneuvers, and ensure that delayed decision making is kept to a minimum. So there are long distances between interchanges, and it is necessary to keep drivers informed of the distances the destinations ahead. So the general principles of color, shape, size, letters, and letter spacing have been described in section 4.2.1 to 4.2.6, and most expressway signs should have a series E letters with recommended minimum requirements of 160 mod E to approach signs and 240 mod E to 400 mod E on the expressways. So this section highlights the importance of expressway signs, especially at high speeds. So since na may required nga like CC bitaw, ay ka maka-enter na nga, no? For example, sa mga motor, like mga big bike lang. And it stresses that signs must give drivers enough information early to make safe lane changes and avoid last-minute decisions. And it also mentions proper design standard like letter size and spacing for visibility. So mag-proceed na sa next. So to continue to 5.2 expressway approach signs GE121 to GE122 and GE123. So these signs shall have reflectorized white legend on reflectorized green background so that they are visible at night. So these signs are to be installed in advance or the nearest intersection or interchange leading to the expressway. So kani nga mga sign is kanang visible siya sa gabi, no? Like example kanang makita bitaw nato nga mga signage kanang magbiyahe ta gabi, di ba, kay pag masugaan na sila sa vehicle or sa imong gisakyan, di ba, kay murag mo reflect siya, musiga na po na sa mga kanang mga best dito sa mga engineer, inana ang mga materials nga gamit ana para makita siya sa gabi. And kanina mga signage need din siya i-install bitaw kanang medyo distansya pa before ang intersection pasulod sa expressway, or dapat layo-layo pa bitaw para ma-inform ang mga drivers nga dool-dool na sila sa expressway. So let's continue sa 5.3 expressway information signs in GE2. So 5.3.1 prohibited on expressway GE2 1A, GE2 1B, and GE2 1C. So certain classes of traffic may be prohibited from traveling on an expressway. Where this occurs, the appropriate signs prohibited on expressways should be erected on the roads leading into the entry ramps. So before sa entrance sa expressway, no, dapat makita na ni siya. So the location of the signs will depend upon local conditions, and they may best associated with one of the signs giving advanced direction to the expressway so that the prohibited users may read the signs and take appropriate action before reaching the entry ramp. So these signs shall have reflectorized white legend on reflectorized light green background. So like sa ang istorya gain na. So diri makita sa GE2 1A ang mga prohibited bitaw, mga dili allowed ng mga vehicles or mga tao diha sa expressway, such as ang pedestrians, bicycles, animals, horse-drawn vehicles, and long and wide loads. So bawal na siya, no, kay sa akong nabalaan lang ang expressways manggod kay naay kuan bitaw, like naay certain nga minimum sa CC bitaw. For example sa mga motor naay mga 400 masiguro 400 cc, di lang ko sure, pero naay kuan na minimum nga kuan requirements. So sa GE2 1B like kaning bawat pumasok ang sasakyang walang taillight. So importante ka ng taillight guys, kay di man na, ay, para makita bitaw ka sa gasunod sa imo, like kusog biya dapat ng padagan na ng expressway. So importante kay na nga visible ka sa likod nimo para malikayan na disgrasya. And lastly ang GE21C, bawal bisikleta motorsiklo sa expressway. So noon bawal man gyud ang bisikleta since high speed nga dalan man siya, no. So bawal yun ang mga hinay kay maging gigamit ang expressway para mas mapadali niya nananoy mga agabike. So logical nga bawal siya, no. Next. So to continue to 5.3.2, toll charges advanced information, GE222. So the advanced toll charges information sign is to be located in the in advance to the toll plaza to inform motorists the amount of toll charges required to pay at the toll plaza. So makita na diri sa signage no, ang toll charges such as sa motorcycle 20 pesos, cars and vans 80 pesos, cars with trailer under 2 tons 100 pesos, other vehicles 2 tons and over 300 pesos. So para na siya ma-inform ang mga motorist kibali pila ilang bayran kung moagi sila ng expressway. So next is ang 5.3.3 lane direction signs GE 2 to 3. So lane direction signs are used to guide the motorist on the correct lanes leading to an intersection or interchange. So method of mounting of lane direction signs on overhead gantries is referred to in figure 4.1. So na-discuss na sa ang kauban. So mo ng example no tong sa Makati o sa Pasay ba to nga signage para like ma-inform ito ang mga motorist or ang mga gagamit ana nga expressway kung asa sila muliko, asa sila mosulod para maabot ilang mga destinasyon. So that concluded my part on this report. So the next topic will be discussed by my group mates. Thank you.
So let's proceed to the next topic, which is the advanced exit signs. These signs give you early warning about upcoming exits and unsa ka siya kalayo. So na ay 3 ka types ang advanced exit. The first one is GE3-1, which shows the exit name and distance. Like for the example, Calamba exit 2 kilometers. The second one is GE3-2, which is same lang siya sa GE3-1 but it tells you which lane na i-use. The third one is the GE3-3, which only says next exit without the distance. Next is the expressway exit direction signs. Kani nga mga signs are placed at or near the exit to guide you clearly. Here we have GE4-1, an overhead sign before the exit ramp, showing the destinations you can reach. Like for the example, San Fernando, Olongapo. Next is GE4-2, which tells you how far the next exit is. Lastly, GE4-3, which is located at the exit point, 20 to 30 meters before the ramp. So if makita nini mo nga mga signs, maghinay-hinay o mo follow sa direction to avoid missing your exit. Next is the expressway service signs. These signs point you to services like rest areas, gas stations, and more. Very helpful kayo ni siya if naamoy long trips. So, for rest area, as you can see sa example, ang GE51 includes lane guidance, while ang GE52 has no lane information. And for GE53 is a simple rest area sign at the next exit. And for other expressway signs, these signs are for service centers, truck parking, and restaurants. So if you are tired and gusto nimo magpahulay, just look for these signs. And that ends my presentation. The next slide will be discussed by Mr. Tugo.
So, akong i-discuss karon ng chapter 5.7 kaning end of expressways. So, a warning of the end of an expressway is provided by sign at 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer in advance. So mo siya kita nimo sa ubos ng duha ka green nga sign karong G6-1 o G6-1A. So mo siya makita nimo na sila 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer in advance sa end of expressway. Mo follow din na siya approximately 400 meter from the end of expressway kaning check brakes nga sign o reduce speed na nga sign. O kanida yung end of expressway ginabutang ni siya dito sa pinaka-end na sa expressway. Kanya kanipod sila nga mga signs no kay nani sila white legend para ma-reflectorize ang light green background niya. Kanya mo po din niya ang table sa end of expressways nga sign. Nadira ang sign number og ang lahang mga sizes kilala mo sila mga sizes. So, proceed ta sa chapter 5.8 kaning toll signs. So, ang iyang general application na is kaniyo. Where a toll plaza is located on an expressway, it is necessary to provide the motorist with advance warning of the toll barrier. At least 2 km from the toll plaza, ang sign daw kuno nga toll plaza ahead with distance. So, na siya distance, no specific na distance. Ang iyang sign number is G7-1 with black legend on white background should be erected at 400 meter from the toll plaza. The sign pod nga reduce speed now kanang G8-2 should be erected at approximately 200 meter before the plaza. Kani pong sign nga stop at toll gates, yung sign number is G7-2 with black legend on white background should be erected. All signs shall be fully reflectorized para maklaro sa mga tao. Where toll plazas are also placed to collect tolls at exit ramps, naputay ginabutang nga sign dito sa kwan nga nakabutang is pay toll ahead sign. Yang sign number is G7-3. Follow din na siya sa stop at toll gates nga sign. Yang sign number is G7-2 should be erected. So, the toll sign shall be rectangular in shape, black legend on white reflectorized background, except sa stop at toll gates. Kaya require na siya kuan red nga legend para reflectorize ang iyang white nga background. So, wonder mo sa mga naong anang sign nga ako pang nara mo nilang mga naong. So, as well as the table nakabutang dira ilang sign number ug ang ilang sizes. So 5.9 na ta kani expressway traffic instruction and regulatory signs. So these special signs are normally exclusively for expressways. These signs are normally rectangular in shape with black legend and white reflectorized background except sa wrong way go back. So wrong way go back na siya rather. Yang sign number is GE8-1 o reduce speed na nga GE8-2 which have white legend on reflectorized red background. So other regulatory signs such as speed restriction signs belong to the normal regulatory signs na diris na. So muna lahang table sa kuan sa instruction and regulatory signs. Daghan-daghan sila. Pero don't worry, kinamay sa table dari lang taon lang siya dari. Sa iyang mga sizes o iyang mga sign number para di maglibot. So mag-start sa wrong way go back. Iyang sign number is GE8-1. So kaning wrong way go back nga sign binaya gamit ni siya para mag-inhibit sa wrong way nga movement sa mga drivers attempting to enter the wrong road either via an exit ramp or at grade intersection. So kani siya nga sign located ni siya approximately 200 meter from the ramp terminal. So take note ninyo guys kaning 200 meter nga distance gikan sa ramp terminal or intersection para ma-duplicate ang both sides of the ramp or road. So proceed ta sa 5.9.2 kaning reduce speed now nga sign. Iyang sign number is GE8-2. So kaning reduce speed now nga sign ginagamit ni siya in advance expressway Yung ato akong gingon kaganiha, mga first na ako nga di-discuss is mga kuan ba to? Check brakes o reduce speed now katong approximately 400 meters kanang before sa end of expressway. So mo siya. Ang gibutang dari is desirably located at 300 to 500 in advance of the end of expressway, where a low speed or stop condition may occur at the expressway terminal. So the sign may be used in advance of any other conditions on an expressway or ramp where experience shows that drivers are approaching too fast or too fast for safety. So to be effective, ang drivers need nila og kanang mag-slow down. Therefore, other signs should be erected in conjunction with these signs like an expressway. So 5.9.3 kaning right lane ends 500 meter. Yung sign number is GE8-3. So kani siya nga sign is located na siya approximately 500 meters. So take note, 500 meters from the start of the merge taper to give the first warning of a lane drop due to site constraints. The distance may be reduced at 300 meter in exceptional circumstances. So makita ni sila kani sila nga masign kana bitong mga dalan nga kanang mukalit lang og merge bitaw, may mo siyang imbes 4 lanes may mo siya 2 lanes may mga inana mo good. So kani siya kinabutang ni siya 500 meters from the start. So from the start sa merge taper. So proceed ta sa 5.9.4 kaning right lane ends merge left. Yang sign number is G8-4. Kaning lane ends merge left G8-5 og merge left G8-6. Slow vehicles use right lane G8-7. Signs. So kani sila nga mga signs kay kaning right lane ends merge left na sign is located na siya 180 meter to 220 from the start of the merge taper. Kani pong lane ends merge left nga sign ginagamit na siya para sa mga kanang opportunity exits sa place the sign directly above the terminal lane, di ba? When assigned grant 3 of the vicinity of an exit. So kani sila, in all cases the merge left sign is placed at the start of the merge taper. Say equally spaced merge arrow should be also mark the lane. So muna yung mga signs kani sila og ang apil po ang ilang mga kanang sign number. So ang last dayon is kanang check brakes nga sign S1-4E. So ang check brakes nga sign is used in conjunction with reduce speed now. So matawag yung kagani halagi nga along gini sila magauban gini sila signs on the expressways. It is normally used as a supplementary sign to steep descent warning sign, which is ang sign number is W5-4 on major highways. This sign also used on expressway should be designed with 240 EM minimum legend sight. So that's all. Thank you.